I don't know the first thing I'm doing about with synthesizers, but before I ended up working on the EP, it had been over 3 years since I worked on any new music.
Solomon struggles with music, I would say. The biggest one is being stuck in a box as far as his followers are concerned. He started off, I guess, as far as everybody knows, he started off as a producer, a hip-hop producer. And he became well known for his chopping samples on the MPC 1000. And once he started to explore outside of that was when people were kind of like, what are you doing?
I love how Tyler, the Creator, said, they don't like you. Mm-hmm. He's like, they like a version of you.
Yeah, that's true.
And the moment you're not that version anymore,
they'll switch on you.
It's like, I know I have those ride or die fans who've been riding every transition and supporting. And that's way less than more of the, fair weather or whatever that types that. Because I'm not on an NPC,
right.
Because I'm not making boom bap, because I'm not making neo soul, because I'm not making beat making videos, whatever. They're
I think a lot of us feel that way when we know our favorite artists as a certain way. And when they start to grow, we freak out because we're like, wait, this isn't what I'm used to. This isn't, how I started to love your music. This isn't how I know you as. And I know that because that's what happened with me in Linkin Park at first. I was like resisting the growth. But now, I appreciate everything that they've done. And I think a lot of Solomon's followers, a lot of them have grown with him and appreciated his growth, but then there's still a large chunk of them that haven't gotten his vision yet.
He's created so much music in this large time, in this time frame of, pursuing this to the fullest, and for what? If the right people haven't heard it, he creates his own music. He taught himself to play different instruments, and then he writing songs. I mean, he's just a well-rounded musician, and it almost seems like his craft isn't appreciated.
He is so creative, and he has all these ideas, and he always has since he was a little kid. And you can't keep somebody like that in a box. You can't put a label to somebody like that, because it's just like clipping somebody's wings.
I was just burnt out. I wouldn't say I was uninspired. I was really tired. Like, for many years, music had consumed my life, like completely consumed it, and it got to a point where I really just identified more with the musician rather than just me, the person. So if things weren't going really well in my career or uninspired with music and everything, it's just like I really beat myself up a lot, and in a lot of ways I would feel worthless. So I stepped away from music. It wasn't like just a set decision. It's just I kind of just let it go and let it be, to just tap back into myself, and then from a creative aspect find the other things that I was always inspired to do creatively. And acting was one of the things that I was always passionate about. It was something that I wanted to do before I even knew I was capable of doing music. So it had been since high school since I did anything with acting. Now we're in LA, we're in Hollywood. So it's just like, why not take a stab at it?
Shut up! Shut up! You know what? Y'all are dismissed, and y'all don't have to come back until we figure this crap out. I'm suing everybody.
You're not authorized to make that call.
You can shut the fuck up too! I'm gonna go pack my shit.
Solomon is very natural at acting.
I started taking an acting class, kind of a scene study class, which was really fun, you know, just rehearsing and performing there. And then started auditioning, got cast in a live sketch comedy show.
He was on a web series that's on Amazon Prime.
And did other things, you know, kind of been a part of other short films, and then ended up producing my own short film with a lot of the people that I had become friends with in the acting class. So it was really cool. And then I ended up in a Doritos commercial.
He did a Doritos commercial.
Oh, come on, man. Just look how sweet he is. Watch.
Like, I mean, I think that's just a testament to his talent, that it's like, you know, he submits for this and then he gets cast.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to happen.
Not everybody gets that, and I just hope he understands that he's truly blessed in all of these areas.
Listening to his music, you can see that, you know, the acting is in there. You know, his creativity, his how animated he is. You know, you can tell just from his music that he can pursue acting. So once he realized that music's not the only gift that he has, stepping away from music helped him to put his creativity into those other different elements. And now he was able to express his creativity in to other people in another lane. And I think that's something that he can continue to do and make a name for himself in the acting world.
The thing that kind of sparked me to work on some music again was I was working with Micah for his short film. I was basically scoring his film with music that I already had, so I didn't have to make anything new. I already had so much music in my catalog that fit what he was trying to do for his film. But in that process, since the film had like a bass player as the main character and everything, I can play the bass, but I don't consider myself a bassist. I'm not, you know, my chops ain't that crazy. So I reached out to a bassist that I know named Brian Lauderman. I caught him on Instagram sometimes, you know, playing the bass to some of my tracks and everything. So I reached out to him and ended up doing a sample pack with his stuff under my brand of sample packs, Boonie Tunes. So I reached out to him while working on this project for Micah's film to just basically get him playing, you know, bass, like soloing and all that stuff that we can end up using in the film. So I just slid him some drum loops. So I was like, hey, just use some of these drum loops and play over them. So I chose some drum loops from my sample pack, the Boon Bap loops, and sent that to him. And then he sent me some stuff back, and I could tell that he had changed the tempo of some of them and match the, you know, different drum loops with different tempos together. And I'm like, well, how'd they do that? So I reached out to him to ask him how he did that, and he just explained how simple it was in Logic to do that. And that kind of had me like intrigued. So I took one of my favorite drum loops from that pack and sent it to him. I was like, hey, slow down this one, because I kind of like slowing down loops and getting more of a bounce to it and everything. So he slowed it down, and he was just like, yo, this sounds really cool. I was like, send it back. So he sent me the loop, slowed down, and the next day I went straight to the Apple store and got a new laptop, because prior to all of this, my computers crashed. My main iMac that I produce all of my music on had crashed in 2017. So I didn't have Logic or anything like that at the time. So
He got his new laptop, he got Logic and the plugins that he needed,
and then I put that drum loop in and started messing around with it. I don't know why, I just had been wanting to mess with one of those kind of G-funk sounding synths. So I just loaded the loop and started trying to play something. But I wasn't going to force anything, so I couldn't come up with anything.
he didn't start on music right away, but I was just really happy that he had the tools for it. So if he felt like it, he could just go for it.
I didn't reopen it again until February 2019. So 6 months had passed before I even touched Logic again.
Yo, hit that beatbox.
Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins.
The way Bootsy Collins came about was actually like different pieces of a puzzle from different times. I recorded a voice memo of a beatbox I did because, you know, you hear the beatbox, you know, just boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. So I thought about Bootsy Collins, like Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins. I thought that was dope. So I recorded a voice memo of it. 1, 2, ready, go. Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins, Bootsy Collins. Speaking of Bootsy Collins, he is a major influence on me musically. Has been ever since I started even making beats in 2003. Cause he was one of the first artists I sampled. And the thing about Bootsy Collins' music that I love, I'm more into Bootsy's slow jams than his up-tempo songs. I'm just a down-tempo kind of guy. So his slow jams, like I'd Rather Be With You and May the Force Be With You and Munchies for Your Love and As In I Love You, like those songs had a profound impact on me from the beginning. So that definitely kind of went into the inspiration of the song. I knew I wanted to do something along doing that Bootsy Collins beatbox and something eventually, but I just left it alone. Fast forward like 3 years later, and then it just hit me with an idea of maybe writing a song for Janie to surprise her for Valentine's Day. It was February. All of a sudden, the first idea came to me was that Bootsy Collins beatbox that I did. And then all of a sudden, the drum loop that I really wanted to use for something. So I used the drum loop, did the beatbox over the drum loop, then started playing some chords that, or it's actually another chord progression that I recorded on a voice demo maybe a year or so before on the Wurlitzer. It just all just came together seamlessly, and it was like basically 3 years in the making.
All right, do you want these to be closer up like the other ones for this one, or is it? I feel like these ones could be out because this is like, that could be like, look, I'm Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Oh yeah, because we were gonna have this towards like when the beats play.
Yeah,
but it's like
yeah.
a minute
So you'll
long.
already be, this is just like if you need any filler stuff,
Yeah.
just throw this in there, yeah.
Hit that beatbox.
To go with the surprise of making this song for her, I wanted to do a video. So I wanted to kind of just shoot a video in the style of like a lot of videos I used to do in the studio I used to have in Colorado, but I don't really have much of a studio setup here because I wasn't really working on music for a while. But anyway, I had a friend of mine, another neighbor, I hit up Danny Padilla to come through and help me shoot it and everything. So he's a big YouTube dude, so he was down to just come through, help shoot the different things, and the costume kind of came about. Well, I basically used my Afro wig from Halloween. Then I used Janie's shades that she had for her Jubilee cosplay costume that she wore to Comic-Con. And the jacket, that's really my jacket. Like, I really bought that jacket years ago to maybe use for music videos and stuff like that. Really felt it. So I just took all those elements, made the costume, made the video, and shot it the day before Valentine's Day.
Fuck yeah.
The night before Valentine's Day, I was in the bathroom and I saw like some black stringy like pieces of hair on the floor. And I was like,
I had to pick out the Afro wig because it had been like stored somewhere, and I'm making sure to pick up all the leftover Afro wig pieces so it doesn't become obvious that there's Afro wig hair all over the place. So I'm trying to keep this secret, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I covered all my tracks. So I have to wait for her to go to sleep.
whatever.
So I'm just like stealth mode, working on a video to about 7:30 in the morning. So I'm done with the video, and my whole plan is to post it on Instagram while she's at work the next day as a surprise and tag her in it. So I go to sleep, she wakes up maybe like an hour later to get ready to go to work.
The next morning, I was in my dresser and I noticed that there was some black stringy hair stuck to my dresser.
I'm knocked out sleep.
Then I go back to the bathroom and there's like more black stringy hair, like a little bit on the counter and just like on the floor by the toilet. And I was just like, okay, whose hair is this? And so Solomon was sleeping and I was just like tapping him like, hey.
I'm like half asleep. And then she says,
have you been wearing your Afro wig? He was startled because he was sleeping. And so he's like, what? I don't.
I just look at her and she's like,
Whose hair is this? You know, is this your wig?
no.
And so then so many things were going through my mind, like, wait a minute, because Solomon doesn't lie to me. Like, we have that thing, like he doesn't.
I'm in my head like, I don't want her to think.
Either he's lying to me or some bitch up in my place with some really bad weave, okay? And I knew it wasn't that because I don't think any woman would wear weave like that, okay? It is terrible.
So she gave me a look like,
okay. And I just like went about my business, started, kept getting ready for work, but just wondering, what the hell's going on?
I was like, all right, the jig is up. I ain't gonna, I just basically told her to sit down.
Babe, come sit down. And I was like, sit down? Like, what's happening right now?
I just passed her my phone and pressed play.
And it was the Bootsy Collins video, and yeah, it was crazy, just like him, because he's crazy.
It worked out better that way because I got to actually see her reaction in person rather than, surprising her through Instagram but not being able to see what happened. So
it was really sweet, and it was really I don't know, it made me happy for several reasons. It made me happy because it was funny and it was a surprise. He was being silly and he was making music again. So that was really cool, you know, because I mean, I didn't even realize that this was like the first song that he made in a long, long time.
He's taken a huge gap from music, and then to go to make this song and it be about Jenny, you know, I thought it was a beautiful thing, and so, yeah, I loved it.
I hadn't made a song in 3 years, and I was sparked to make a song for her, you know, because she's had my back through all of this, all the highs and lows, and I just wanted to show my appreciation and did that.
It was funny, and I knew she was, you know, she's gonna love it.
I love the Bootsy Collins song because it's very us. It's pretty much how he kind of talks to me. You know, it's just knowing that he loves me and he just like loves to be all over me, you know, all the time. He's very, very affectionate. And it was a routine. I'd be getting ready for work and he'd be like, you know, I haven't grabbed your booty today yet. So it would be like a thing. So I just thought it was really funny that he added that into the song.
She loved the song, and that's how I am. I'm silly, I'm goofy, all those kind of things.
That will always be a funny story for us.
I said I love you, babe, yeah, yeah. I said I love you, babe, yeah. You make me wanna play some music, colors.
The Bootsy Collins song was really cute and it was really sweet, but I noticed that Solomon does a lot of silly songs.
I mean, though she knows I was serious about that song, though I'm being, you know, silly.
That's just his personality, that's what he likes to do. But sometimes I feel like it's also just a way for him to protect himself, because then it's kind of like, well, here I am putting myself out there again. It's like, as much as I love his funny, satire-y, you know, silly songs, I think Solomon has a lot to offer as an artist. I mean, as he's shown in his previous work, in his previous albums, that a lot of people either didn't know about or didn't want to give a chance because it was too different for them. And so I just wanted to see what he could create with this new sound that he was experimenting with, you know, and I mentioned to him, like, what if, you know, you did like a serious song to like this style?